A very good morning to you and welcome to the Morning Outlook Report. I'm Rachel Jones reporting live from Kalkine TV Sydney studios. Now, Australian shares are set to fall sharply for a second straight day. That's after US tech stocks took a dive over concerns COVID-19 stimulus measures are to be wound back. ASX SPI futures are down 1.1% at 7,157 points. The top performing stocks in this index yesterday were Beach Energy, Oil Search, up 10.53% and 7.06% respectively. Over the last 5 days, the index is virtually unchanged, but is currently 4.68% below its 52-week high. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones is down 1.6%, the S&P 500 is down 2%, and the Nasdaq is down 2.8%. It was the S&P index's worst day since May, and the Nasdaq's biggest one-day slump since March. Both indexes were on track for their largest monthly declines since September 2020. Technology giants Facebook, Microsoft and Alphabet dropped by more than 3%, while Amazon fell by more than 2%. Back home, the COVID-19 disaster payments will soon be wound back. That's once vaccination rates hit their targets. The Commonwealth-funded COVID-19 disaster payment gives $750 a week to people who have lost at least 20 hours of work, and $450 a week to those who have lost between 8 and 20 hours. When a state or territory reaches 70% fully vaccinated, people will have to reapply each week for the payment instead of it being automatically renewed. At 80%, the payment will be phased out entirely within 2 weeks. And in today's company news, food retailer the Woolworths Group sold $700 million of sustainability-linked bonds. The offer included a $350 million 6-year piece paying a coupon of 1.85% to yield 1.8925%, or the equivalent of 75 basis points over swap. There was also a $350 million 10-year tranche paying a coupon of 2.75% to yield 2.765%, or the equivalent of 117 basis points over swap. Next, a TPG Global-led consortium has offered $1.4 billion for salary packaging and fleet management services company, the Smartgroup. TPG Global and Potentia Capital have proposed to acquire 100% of the company, under which shareholders would receive $10.35 a share. Looking at some companies going ex-dividend today, we have Meridian Energy, VIP Gloves, the Coventry Group and Perpetual Equity. They will all go ex-dividend today. It's time now for a very short break, but stay with us for more market updates.
Are you sick of paying through the roof for a product that doesn't truly suit you? Want to make sure that you get the best deal possible? Then let us help you. At Kalkine, we do the research, run the numbers, and take a look at the true value of the product to make sure that you're informed as a consumer. Whether it be the best streaming service to suit your binge-watching desires, the right broadband and NBN plans to ensure a no buffering experience, saving money with your energy, gas, and mobile plans, or treating yourself with a bit of retail therapy. We will break down all the details about every single deal, what's in it, how much it costs, and whether it's worth it for you. If you want to save money and stay informed, then subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon, as we will be rolling out a stack of content to keep you in the know.
Welcome back. You're watching Kalkine Media Morning Outlook Report. I'm Rachel Jones. Let's take a look at some local economic news now. In August, retail sales values dropped 1.7% month on month, a smaller fall than expected after consecutive falls in July and June. In August, food drove the month-on-month gain. However, clothing and footwear, cafes and restaurants, household goods and department stores all collapsed. Consumer sentiment saw an uptick recently. Overall, the data supports a positive view that in 2022, nominal consumption will lift to 6.5% year on year. In 2022, in terms of wallet share, we can expect transport, vehicle operation and hotels and restaurants to grow, while the prior COVID beneficiaries of alcohol, that's off-premise alcohol, food and household equipment, are likely to weaken. Moving on to currencies, the Australian dollar fell moderately to 72.4 US cents. That's as the greenback jumped to a 10.5-month high. In European markets, Germany's DAX fell by 2.1%, while Britain's FTSE lost 0.5%. Yesterday, the yellow metal gold prices hit a 7-week low as the US bond yields rose and the dollar strengthened. Brent oil prices fell after topping $80 per barrel for the first time in around 3 years. Brent crude futures finished at $79.09 a barrel, down 0.6%. US crude oil futures settled at $75.29 a barrel, down 0.2%. Meanwhile, 3-month copper on the London Metal Exchange was down 1.1% at 9,260. Iron ore is standing at $122. Well, that's all for our morning outlook report here on Kalkine TV. Have a great day trading and stay tuned for more market updates and economic news live throughout the day. This is Rachel signing off for now.